Warning: the following podcast contains violent scenes that may be unsettling.
Are you ready to put Axel into the mean streets of Night City?
Absolutely.
All right. So, couple things before we get moving on. To keep this game moving as best as I can, and so I'm not giving the audience that will be watching this whiplash from like moving the screen around and stuff like that. I will be rolling my dice I'll be rolling my dice live. So I've got a bunch of D10s and a bunch of D6s in front of me. So I'll just be rolling my dice here. And plus it makes a really cool sound on this dice tray.
Sounds good.
So, and I've got all my notes and stuff back here. I may pop behind the GM screen every once in a while in my GM area to get something and move a map. But here we go. Our scene opens up in a very, very small cube. As you look at your body in this small cube, you notice to your left, as your foot kicks a styrofoam container, and you can hear the water sloshing around the last two bottles of water that you have. And it's just that smell of old water and styrofoam. The room that you're in, it's a bed. That's all it is. And you can look up and you can see that there is there's tools for you to dial in television. There's tools for you to plug in a brain dance if you had one. But for the most part, this is only just a place to sleep. And there's just enough room in there for your body. But you get a phone call. You can see that Vixen is trying to get a hold of you. Do you answer?
Yeah, Axel will kind of shuffle around in his bed, right, trying to get as comfortable as he can in this tight space, right? And then he'll go ahead and answer Vixen's call.
All right. What's up, Choom? I got a little something hot just for you.
I've been waiting on your call, Vixen. What you got?
This is what I need you to do. I need you to go to a certain location. I'll send you the deets if you accept. And basically, I need you to steal me a car.
Steal you a car?
Steal me a car. A specific car. Now, you're getting me the car. I want what's in the car.
Okay, all right, I hear you. Is this thing is so? You know what? I'll let you send me the deets, and then I'll ask any questions if I have.
Yeah. So the job, I'll tell you this up front. The job, 800 eddies. All right. If you damage the car, it's coming off your bottom line, okay?
Well, and that answers the question.
All right. We preem.
Yeah. Where am I meeting you? Or am I meeting you up afterwards, beforehand? What?
It'll all be in the deeds.
Sounds good. Yeah, send them over on your convenience.
And
I
she
appreciate
hangs
the
up.
call. Oh, and there you go.
All right. You're given an address. And the address is 8613 Watson Boulevard. And the car is a white Lexus 86 Bravo license plate NCT 1645.
Alrighty. After getting the information, right, kind of taking a moment to mill it over a little bit, Axel's gonna stretch as much as he can, right? Kind of wiggle his way out of this little domicile he's in. Right. Kind of get his morning routine going. While he's doing that, he's also going to check to see is he familiar with 8613 Watson? Is that like a familiar territory to him? If not, he would kind of look at the area and see what's going on around there.
All right. Well, let's go ahead. And there's a skill for that. So that actually puts you, that Watson Boulevard is kind of the it's the final outskirt of Japantown. So let's get a local expert, Japantown, difficulty 12. And
Sounds great.
What you want to do is roll a d10 and add that to your skill level. I mean, your skill base, and you want to beat the difficulty. So you want to get a 13 or higher.
I failed. I got a 10.
Okay. Well, you know it's around Japantown. That's all you know.
All right, sounds good. So these agents, right, that are inside our head, do they have the ability to like GPS, Google Maps style look at things, or not really?
Yeah, they sure do.
Awesome. Then I'm gonna take a few moments, right, after I kind of get up and get a swig of water, maybe a bite of the what are they called? The pack, the generic pack, pre-pack.
Your generic pre-pack. I mean, you reach into that cold, that cold melted water that at one point in time it was kept cool by a little block of dry ice. Now it's just lukewarm, and you reach in there and you grab that plastic pre-pack out, and you look at you look at it, and you're like, awesome. Tofu, turkey, and vegetables. Breakfast of champions.
Yeah, like looking down at this, right? Kind of getting a taste of that lukewarm, maybe half slimy water, right? Eating this less than savory food makes him perhaps the one part of his life back home, right? Was probably the food and drink that he had.
Oh yeah, because back in the day, you would wake up and you could smell the morning breakfast that either your mom was cooked or your dad cooked. So it was just those smells, and just that as you're probably putting this food in your mouth, tasting just the odd texture, and it's not even warm. It's just like, ugh, I'm just doing this to survive.
Yeah, he kind of takes a moment to reflect back on that a little bit, but immediately kind of snaps out of that sort of longing for what once was, right, and realizing where he's at now. He kind of reconnects, right, resettles himself, and then goes to access his agent, right, and starts kind of dialing in at this location, trying to get a pinpoint or street view of what's there.
All right. So what I'm going to need you to do is look on the far right of your character sheet. In your technique skills, you'll see a basic tech skill.
I see it.
All right. I need you to beat a difficulty of 12.
I do not beat it.
All right. So while you're sitting there and you're like, okay, you come online and immediately you're like, okay, yeah, I want to go and do this. I just need to find this location, and boom, next thing you know is you are just inundated with ads upon ads. There's like ads for Lizzie's Bar. There's ads for the latest, this latest pop drink. There's ads for guns. It's just ad after ad after ad after ad, and you kind of forgot what you were looking at as you're kind of scrolling through them.
Yeah. After the bombardment, right? It's kind of a looking around, see if I can try and dismiss them as much as possible, and then kind of a moment of defeat, right? A big sigh lets out, right? He kind of sends this virtualization inside of his head away, right? And thinks about I guess he's gonna have to do it old school. All right. Gets up, right, and starts moving there physically, right? I'm not sure exactly where his cube hotel is, right? But I assume that he probably knows at least some sort of route back to Japantown, whether that be through a car, through walking, whatever it might be.
There's the metro, and you take the metro. That's going to cost you 60 eddies to get there. But, boom. Before we put you in a vehicle. So once you climb out of this cube and you're finally standing on this grate, this metal grate, and you look to your left and you look to your right, and it's nothing but cubes. You look up, you can see that there's about 10 more stories of these cubes. You can hear people walking on these metal grates. You can even hear the pitter patter of kids as they're playing in this. This is their home. About five, there's a row, and it's like 50 of these cubes, and you look down, and there's somebody who's just looks exhausted as he's climbing into his cube. Just the look of defeat on his face. There's a woman who's trying to pretty herself up after climbing out of this cube, and what's going through Axel's mind as he sees this?
Yeah, I mean, at first, it's kind of like there's kind of a focus, right? But coming out to the noise and the reality of life here, right? It's humbling, right, to him, right? He knows, obviously, he was thinking just about his family's food not too long ago. Growing up in a better lifestyle, and now he's for lack of a better term, kind of slumming it, right? Like the rest of the people here, right? He's learning to be a regular fucking person. So in his mind, right, seeing this massive structure where people are essentially crammed in, seeing exhausted people trying to essentially like chasing something better, right? It's not only humbling, it's also like inspiration for him.
Yeah. Because this is only the beginning for Axel, right?
Yeah. This is like, he can't stay here. He knows that he's destined for more, right?
All right. So as you take the elevator down, and as you're taking this elevator down, there's these screens. And as you look at each one of these screens, it connects to your bio monitor, and it's playing the ad through your agent. So as you look at one screen, it's talking about the latest episode of the Watson Whore. What will this man do to find fame in the city of Watson? Stay tuned. Thursday at 5. You look to your right, and there's this really loud ad where it's literally it's this deformed baby, and they're like, cyberware got you down? Don't worry, call this 1-800 number for your cyberware lawyer. And this is just going on, ad after ad after ad. Some of them are for brain dances that you can buy. Real scantily clad women. There's others where they're talking about this latest gun. And then once you get down, you've got about 15 floors to get, and this is a slow elevator. So once the door opens and you hear that final ding and the door opens, all of a sudden the ads turn off and it's quiet just for a second until you take that step, and it's just the loud boisterousness of the lobby. There are kids running around. There's parents yelling at each other. There's people slamming these lockers. There's people, having these loud conversations with, over their agents. It's this cacophony of degradation, and all of these people that live in this cube hotel. Some are coming, some are going. But as Rodney walks to his locker, and he can see his locker, and it keys to his agent, and it goes from red to green and opens up, and there's all of your equipment. What's Rodney thinking as he's gearing up? As he's kind of checking how does he gear up?
Yeah, no, Axel, the moment that he's introduced into this hustle and bustle of everyday life, right? That's the moment his whole demeanor, his attitude, his outlook kind of changes. All right, this is the environment that he thrives in, right? People, social situations, right? Chaos, things like that. This is what he invites into his life, right? And the way he gears up, mostly is, I'm not sure exactly like if there's any regulations on weapons or anything like that. But barring that, basically, he would make sure that he puts in his contacts for the day. All right, grabs out whatever case they might be in, unscrews it, right, put those in fairly simply, fairly easily. All right, he would brush his hand through his cyber hair, making sure that the lava lamp effect, the glow, is working correctly. All right, he'd outside of like the clothing that he's already wearing out of here, he'd unfold his long like leather duster, pop that on. He'd throw in his katana on the inside of it, right, sliding it down. I assume that he keeps the katana inside the duster. And then outside of that, he takes one of his heavy or his basic heavy pistol, puts it in the cusp of the back of his pants, right? I assume he has some kind of holster back there, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he puts his other heavy pistol on the side, right? Or the side mount. Outside of that, he kind of rubs his arm, right, making sure that everything feels okay. His left arm, that's with the wolvers, runs his fingers down the muscles and everything, making sure that nothing is strange or feels like breaking. And then I assume he'd probably leave his rifle behind, unless it's a common thing to openly carry a rifle.
It is.
Okay, well then he would definitely have some sort of sling, right? Put it on his, strap around his chest. Put that rifle on the back of him.
Now, does Axel interact with anyone here? Is there anyone here that he's friendly with, or is this just a temporary stop for him?
Out here, it's mostly just a temporary stop, but people that he would interact with would be anyone in some sort of position of power or influence. So if that's like the desk clerk or a security guard, people like that is the people he would be friendly with. He would have like a small conversation, a polite greeting, stuff like that.
Okay. So there is so you do see that there's a person who's sitting at the intake, and literally what it is, it's like your normal hotel, right? Your normal cheap hotel. It's this little window that's about waist high. There's a woman who's sitting behind there who is the person that is giving her the biggest amount of shit right now. Is this, you could tell that this kid can't be more than 16. And let me get a wardrobe and style check. Difficulty 12.
Yeah. Oh. Wardrobe and style.
Wardrobe and style.
That's a 15.
Yep. So as you look at this kid who's just giving her shit, he's kind of just knocking pens. There's no pens, but he's just kind of, making just this big to do. And you look at his arms. He's wearing these sleeves that go into these gloves to make him look like he actually has cybernetic arms. But the way that they're moving, you can see him bunch, and you're like, this is totally a street poser, and he's just sitting there, trying to this bravado that's coming off of him is so forced that even the woman behind the desk, and she's like, you can tell that she has to be respectful, but it's taking the world to hold her together.
Yeah, I mean, Axel, right, seeing this woman, he knows her, right? I mean, this is a place that he lives.
Yeah.
What's this woman's name?
This woman's name is Margaret Hempton.
All right. So Axel would make his way over to the intake area. All right. He would he wouldn't like draw attention to himself. He'd just make his way over there casually, right? Once he gets up there, he would hip check this dude, right? Out of the way as best he can, right? And then kind of slide his hands on the desk, right? Put or kind of cross his fingers, put his hands on the desk, look Maggie or Margaret directly in the eye and say, "Maggie, how's it going? How you doing?" All right. And just shove this dude to the side.
So, with that, let's see. Are you trying to be? Are you trying to be as? Are you trying to do it stealthily, or are you just trying to check this person and be like, stop? Just stop.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be intimidating.
Okay.
My goal right now is to basically show him, right, that I know that he's a poser, right? I know that he's trying to be cooler or seem like this either like a badass person or like he has some sort of power over her, right? And I'm just trying to check that and shove it back down his throat.
Okay. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and give me a persuasion check. And that's going to be like right now he's feeling all like he's in charge. Let's go ahead and make that a difficulty of 15.
All right. I have a 13.
13?
Yes.
Okay. So you hip check him. You kind of hip check him and you start talking. And he turns to you and he's like, "Yo, what's up, man? What's up? Who do you think you are? You know who I am? Do you know who I am?"
Axel would not even give him the time of day, right? So he would kind of yell this at him, right? Axel would kind of still bear down, right? "Man, how's the kids, right? Is your husband doing all right? Man, I'm sorry you have to deal with assholes like this guy."
And
yeah.
And what he's gonna do, he's gonna reach into his jacket and he's gonna pull out a knife, and he's like, "You know what? I was talking to the lady, man, and you here, Ronald, get your ass over here now." And I like at the sound of that. Would you look at that?
Yeah, 100%, right? I'd kind of raise an eyebrow, right? Stand up straight, take a peek back as to who's yelling.
So this woman, she looks like she was born and bred and raised here in Night City. She's got she has this light tattoo on her neck underneath her chin, and it's just glowing this angry red. And her clothes are covered in like old dried blood. So and you can see that she's wearing a shirt that says all foods, and you know that's where like the meat packing plant is at. And she just looks at him and says, "Get over here." And when you look back, you can just see the total defeat in his eyes as he just got called out by his mom.
Yeah, I like. There was a chuckle, right? There's a lighthearted laugh from Axel, right? He says, "Yeah, why don't you run back to mommy? All right, adults are talking."
With that, he's just kind of he goes, but he gives you the stink eye the whole way.
Yeah, absolutely. And like when he turns, I look over to his mom, right? Make sure that she's not going to say anything, right? And then I would turn my attention back, right? So I apologize, right? I try to make some small talk with Maggie, right? And try and like breeze her over the situation, try and make her forget about that.
And in the moment that that guy leaves, you can tell that she's like, I've had to deal with worse. You know what? About 2 days ago, there was a drunk, I had a drunk maelstrom ganger in here. Oh my God. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No shit. A maelstrom? Really?
Yeah. Hey, they gotta sleep too,
Yeah, I get it. Well, hey, I mean, Maggie, do you have my number?
What cube are you in?
37C?
Yeah, I got your number.
Awesome. If that happens again, give me a call, all right?
And she's like, I appreciate it. I really do. And if I need to call you, that means all hell's broken loose. And she reaches out from underneath you and slams this massive revolver on the desk. This is a nasty ass revolver. And she's like, you know what? If I'm calling you, yeah, you'll know. But I think I got it.
Axel would put both of his hands up and be like, yeah, I can see that. Holy shit.
And she just kind of reaches back down and puts it back down. And she's like, hey, don't you got somewhere to be?
Always, Maggie. Somewhere better than here, for sure.
Any place is better than here.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Well, hey, you take care of yourself and take it easy, all right?
Yeah, you too now.
Will do.
All right. So now, as we go into the streets, right? Once you step outside and the cacophony of Night City, of Watson, where it is this metroplex city. When you look up, when first we're going to start ground level, all right? The array of people that are just walking through the city. Everyone is trying to find and cling to that thing that makes them in this city of millions. You see people with tech hair like yourself. You see women that are full that have, these cybernetics, and to make them look even more attractive than they already are. And even as they pass by people on the street, that are begging for anything, any little bit of scraps that anybody can pass by. And, there's cars moving to and from, and it's just this massive conglomeration of so much. But when you look up, and there you see like these mega buildings, some of these buildings are 300 stories tall, and you know that each floor is its own little city, just filled, people just stacked on top of each other. And then you take a look, and there are these flying arrow cars. Just about as many cars are on the street there are in the sky as they're making their move through the city. And as you can kind of see, just barely, if you move your head just right, just for a glimpse, you can see the water of East Coronado Bay way out in the distance. That blue water that it's only blue because of a reflection. If you get there, it turns this icky brown because it's so polluted, so toxic. But as you start making your way to the metro, how does Axel feel? And what is he kind of focused on in this environment?
Axel feels energized right here. Getting into this like metropolitan area, right, is kind of like the daily thing, right? Mm-hmm. This is what he gets up for. This is what he lives for. Not only that, this is how he makes his money, right? And in doing so, right, I imagine that that's generally what his senses are looking out for. So he knows he has this duty, right? He already has this job, but he's always on the prowl for the next one. So looking around, right, he's seeing, trying to just take in and absorb information, right? Yeah. Anything that stands out, anybody not from this area, anyone making trouble, etc., etc. He's looking for things that he could potentially manipulate into his advantage, into gaining some money, gaining a better ally, something like that.
Mm-hmm. And right now, it's, in this area, you really don't know who's new, who's not. I mean, this is kind of all new to him, but you can tell that as about 2 minutes as Axel starts walking, just this rip of automatic gunfire. You can totally hear this rip of automatic gunfire 2 blocks away. And it's a sustained firefight. And what you find interesting is most of the people, they're just going about their business. Like, whatever. Another day in Night City. And then you can hear the sirens as two NCPD cars fly by as they're going to this gunfire. And then you hear even a deeper, darker siren as from behind you look up and you can see this bigger air vehicle flying, and it says Max Tac on the side. And with Max Tac, that those are the cyber psycho hunters. Those are the people that take down full conversion boards. That's the best of the best of the best. People, Night City police that are already on the verge of being cyber psychos themselves. They're going out there. And it's like, Maelstrom's probably at it again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Alex definitely makes some sort of like mental note of that, right? Especially, if there's cyber psychos in the area. Is this something, and this doesn't have to be answered, but this is something that's going through his mind, is like if there are like an increase in these kinds of incidents, at least near his area, or if this has always been this way, right? It's almost, if it's always been this way, it's almost probably comforting to him, right? To have the standard day by day, right? It would be weird if there was some sort of shooting and these things didn't fly by, you know. So he's either like taking note of oh man, you know, or something's going on, or yeah, this is my life now, and I love it.
And that's what he is, because this is just another day in Night City. You know, this is dystopian at its best. You know, because in real life, right? Let's take real life. Every major city has their own combat zone, right? So let's take a look at today, modern day Detroit, right? 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, Detroit was a paradise. It was, it was an urban paradise. But once those car companies started packing up and the jobs started packing up, it's turned into its own combat zone. The people that live there, because they can't, either they can't get out or they're so habitualized to the area that they don't want to leave. Because, I don't know if I could live in an area where I don't hear gunshots every night, because it's people are institutionalized. That's the same thing here on Night City, but only here it's cranked up to 10 and it has its own soundtrack.
Yeah, and this is something that definitely plays in his head. I feel like every day that Axel lives in this environment is another day that he doesn't really have to think too much about the joys of eating back at family's house, or think about, what the next meal is going to be, because the excitement and the energy is all dedicated towards the task he's doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is a reminder of like the life he chose, not the one that was chosen for him.
Exactly. So as Axel is wound up in these thoughts, his stop comes, and he knows just a few blocks away is his target.
Oh no! This is like his moment of preparation, right? This is when he would start to become focused, right? Starting to take in like the scenery, the people, the faces, anyone standing out. Like obviously, you're gonna have your normal hustle and bustle, but like, if he sees some random execs or something like that, something might be going down. Things like that. People from, this is a Japan town, right? Or at least on the edge of it, right? So if there's a random influx of people, on the opposite side of town that is easily identifiable as like a rival gang, something's going down. So mostly he's just keeping his eye out for anything strange, anything weird going on as he makes his way around this block, right? He would try to kind of blend in, right, to the crowd as he kind of tries to find his mark.
All right. So let me grab your. You can put Axel anywhere on this map that you want to.
All right.
Spin that down. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get into the combat portion of this little tutorial.
All right.
Okay, so go ahead and pull up make sure that you have your combat primer ready, your combat reference sheet up.
All right.
And before we get into this, you have 6 points to spend to do your combat awareness stack. Now, if you remember, that's on page... I'm going to look at your character sheet because I don't have all this stuff memorized. Page 146 of the core rule book.
Yep.
Okay. So you have 6 points to allocate how you see fit.
All right. I think I'm gonna put the 4 points into fumble recovery because I have been rolling pretty terrible. And then I'm gonna put my 2 points that I've added from the 10 points I was able to spend into my initiative reaction.
Okay. All right. So now, remember that because you are at now a +5 to your initiative. Because you get a +3 from your Sandevistan, and now you have a +2 for your initiative reaction.
Awesome.
Okay. So, as you are finally, as you're kind of like walking up to this parking lot, you can clearly see that there are 2 people, and they are eyeing the same car that you're looking at, and you can clearly see that it's a white Lexus, and the license plate is NCT 1645.
All right. So these guys are eyeing it, right? These look like, I mean, obviously, are they prepped and ready to deal with anybody who's trying to, encroach?
Yeah. One of them clearly has a handgun out, and he looks like he's ready to throw down. The other has a big heavy pipe, and he looks like he's getting ready to smash.
Alrighty. Are they traveling like? Is the map accurate? Are they traveling like 10 feet apart?
Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about movement. Right?
Yeah.
So when we sit there and we think this is Cyberpunk, so it's not quite Dungeons and Dragons. The map is not set up that each square is 5 meters. So each square in itself is it's 2 meters, and your movement is your movement by half. So Axel has a movement of, I believe, 6, right?
Yeah.
So at any point in time, he can move 3 squares.
Awesome. The other thing that I don't have offhand are like ranges for weapons.
Okay.
Is that something you have, or something I should take note of?
Well, if you look at your combat primer, I mean not the combat primer, but the combat reference.
Yes.
See where it says single shot difficulty value based on range.
Yes.
So your pistol, which is your heavy pistols, so 0 to 6 meters, the difficulty is 13.
Gotcha.
7 to 12, it's 15. 13 to 25, it's 20, right?
Yes.
They all basically have the same range. This is just this is how this game works with combat wise. So if you wanted to plop this red chromer right here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that's 10 meters. That would be a difficulty of 13.
Gotcha.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to roll our initiative. Let's go ahead and plug in our initiative order. Is reflexes plus 1d10 plus any modifiers. So Axel's reflexes are, I believe that's a 6, right?
Yes. And then he has the plus 5, so any roll would be plus 11, correct?
Yes.
That's 8 plus 11, that's a 19.
Okay, so you're rolling on a 19. All right, let's see what these two guys get. Okay, so this guy, Red Chrome, got a 5, and this person that you can't see, well, he got nowhere near where you're at, but hey, that's what it's like playing a solo. So now, things that you can do is your move. So you have your turn is you have one move action and you have one other action. So you can move and shoot. You can shoot and move. And if, let's say that you have something with a rate of fire of 2, you can do an action, move, and do another action, right? Because it's got a rate of fire of 2.
All right.
That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right, so let me take a look at my sheet real quick, and then I'll let you know what my plans are.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, Axel, like, kind of knowing that he's going to be quicker than these guys, right? He's going to take out his, M10AF Lexington.
Yeah.
Right. He's going to quick draw that from the hip. I don't know if quick draw is an actual thing, but for flavor text, he's going to quick draw it, right?
Yeah.
He's going to jump over a couple squares in front of this building, right? He's going to kind of take, not necessarily cover, right? But he's going to try and hide from this this nomad dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tuck up behind there, get closer to this red chrome guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And try and blast him from the side.
All right. Well, go ahead and move your dude.
Am I able to move diagonally or no?
Yes.
Awesome.
Oh, hold on just one second. Go ahead and drop it. All right, now you can put them wherever you want to.
All right.
All right. Well, not on top of the building, but...
Yeah, I'm trying to get it, like, close to it, but it's like...
It's okay. You know, let's not... We know what you're trying to do, but, you know, we can't... This isn't, you know, like a real... Well, it's the best that we can come to a grid map on a table.
Yep. He's trying to get basically within, like, the 6-meter range, right? Because he knows that this is a close range gun, right? But still be out of sight to where it takes the other guy a half a second at least to really recognize him, right? Or, like, at least know where the shot's coming from. And then attempt to blast this guy. Yeah.
All right. So as Axel, the first thing that he does, he's thinking, oh no. This is Vixen's deal, not whoever else. And he activates his Sandevistan just with a thought. And he can feel this energy coursing out of his spine through his nervous system. That initial feeling, it almost feels like maybe when you stick your tongue on a 9-volt battery, just that tingle throughout your body. But the rest of the world begins to move at slow motion, because his nervous system is so jacked up right now that the rest of the world is just like, this guy is sitting there like, as he's like slowly moving, that Axel was able to take that move, as this person is still just trying to come around and level his gun, because his nervous system is so jacked. He's moving so fast. He's like, boom, and he can take that shot before that red chrome guy can even bring the gun around. Welcome to Cyberpunk, bud.
Oh, this is awesome, man. I'm loving it. No, I could feel like, I imagine like it's for me, I'm imagining like the limitless pill, you know, like this surge of like this quickness, right? This Sandevistan inside of his head, right? When it activates, I like, in my mind, his mind, it's not necessarily clearer, but it seems like it reacts faster, you know. So like, this is, I love this vibe. But yeah, he readies his gun, he pulls it up, right? Swings it over to this man. He's not too worried about like trying to claim a headshot, but he's really looking to be quicker than this man, right? To show, or he knows there's the quick and the dead, right? And he'd rather be the quick.
Oh, so, yeah. That's the life of a solo.
Yep.
All right. So what we're going to do is I need you to roll your handgun. All right. Your handgun plus 1d10. And you need to beat a difficulty of 13.
6 plus 12, 18.
18. All right. Okay. Roll your damage.
Which is the 3d6, right?
3d6.
Is there a way to grab multiple of them or no?
Yes. You can just, so if you want to, you can just hold down and you can highlight.
All right. I'm going to move it over just so I can see more. Okay. And then
what
roll
you want
them
to
in
do
here?
is just kind of shake your mouse and just
I'll
grab those
better.
again. Grab all three of those again. All right, now shake them. Yes, and then just give it a drop. And then if you hold your mouse over it, it should give you a combined total.
9.
9?
Yes.
Okay.
Now this one does have the rate of fire of 2.
Yes.
So my plans is that if I don't, knock him down with one shot, and I go to fire a second one, right after.
Okay, hold on a second. I got to do my math.
No problem. Good thing we went to school.
All right. So you line up your shot, you take your shot, and he's coming around. You can see that the shot punctures his it punctures his armor. The armor took a good chunk of it, but he's like, ooh, but still coming around to take that shot. What are you going to do? You got one more shot.
Yeah, as soon as the first bullet goes in, right, I assume that he looks over and knows who's firing at him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the moment when Axel's like kind of gets excited, right? This is when he knows, right, somebody's looking at him and he's facing this conflict head on, right? He's gonna take that second shot. So I roll handgun again, or because this is rate of fire?
Handgun. Roll handgun plus 1d10.
Yes. A 6 again, another 18.
All right, another 18. That beats the difficulty value. Go ahead and take your roll your damage. All right. Now, one of the things that I want to bring, now that you've rolled the 6, one of the things that I want to bring to your attention: if you roll 2 6s on on your damage, that's how you score a critical hit.
Okay. Man, that would have been so good.
So that looks like 12 points of damage.
Yes.
Okay. That next bullet just kind of hits him, like boom, and he takes a step back, and he's got his gun trained at you. Okay, so you've now out of turns. All right, we're done for this round.
Yes.
You've done your actions. This nomad. All right, he's came right here, and what he is going to do. Six. 1, 2, 3. He's coming up to you, and he's going to take a swing at you with his pipe. He's going to call you some choice words. All right. Now, what is Axel's dexterity?
7.
So what I need you to do is put together. You're going to roll your dexterity plus evasion plus 1d10.
All right.
And I'm going to roll my dex plus melee skill plus 1d10.
Awesome. Is that already calculated in the evasion stat?
Oh, yeah. It already is.
Perfect.
It's already so you just roll your base. Sorry. You roll your base plus 1d10.
Gotcha. Perfect. All right. Total, that's a 15.
Okay. Okay. So right off the bat, I rolled a 1. So in this game, you have exploding 10s and imploding 1s. So if you roll a 10, you roll another d10 and add that to it. If you roll a 1, you roll another d10 and you subtract it from that. You being a solo who have fumble recovery, well, it just depends on what's going on. And, you would, and most of these people don't have a luck skill. So he comes up and he takes this swing and he just completely misses. Just, you're able to just, like, because your nervous system is so jacked up, it's almost like that scene from crap, Justice League, where the bad guy takes a swing at Superman and he just kind of looks at it like nonchalantly as it kind of moves by in slow motion. You look back at this nomad and you're like, really, dude? All right.
Yeah, it's when, and like, he makes specific points of like whoever's attacking him, right, or whoever he's engaged in this eye contact with, right. He makes sure that he's able to, or they're able to see the pulsating of their sounds that they make. So when this man calls him some choice words, right, his eyes light up with not only excitement, right, but with the pulsing of their own voice, right.
Oh yeah. That's probably why he missed, because he's like, oh my god, I've never seen that before. All right. Now this one turns, this red chrome guy, he's gonna make his shot.
All right.
Do you have a reflex of 8 or higher?
No.
Okay. So what you're going to do is, again, he's got, let's see, so that's going to be a difficulty of 13 with his pistol. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna throw this die out. Okay. So -7, yeah, and now he's taking his shot, and as he gets his arm up, you can tell that you've hurt this person, because just as he's about to pull the trigger, he coughs a little bit and blood trickles down his mouth as he fires, and it goes wide, and it's like bam. All right, you're up.
Awesome. So let me ask this really quick. Are there called shots or anything like that?
There are called shots. If you take a called shot, like, where are you trying to take a called shot to?
So there's two things that I'm thinking, right? Mm-hmm. Is because I was gonna see if there were called shots or like, and what the difficulties are on those. Because depending, my goal is to either step forward and shoot this red guy right in the head, right? Or if that's a really difficult one, right? Walk up, shoot him in the leg, right? And then continue moving.
Okay. So the leg is a -4 and the head is a -8.
Yep. So I'm gonna go leg. All right.
Okay.
Because I have my rate of fire 2 gun out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. My goal. Can I shoot, or no?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Awesome. So that's gonna be my goal, right? Since I'm close to this guy, the called shot, I'm gonna try to. And I don't know if there's a rule for this either. I'm gonna try and shove my gun right up against his knee, right? Shoot, fire, right? Try and blow out his kneecap, back up, and then shoot the other guy.
Yeah, you can.
All right. Is there any point blank rules at all, or no?
So, your point blank rule is, because if you look at the combat reference, 0 to 6 meters, the difficulty is 13.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
But you're just going to just make sure that you subtract 4 from your roll and get higher than a 13.
You got it. All right, let me roll. Boom. First one is 8 minus 4, 4 plus 12, 16.
That is a hit.
Sweet. So the first one is going into this guy's kneecap.
Sure is.
All right. Oh no, one went out. That's okay. Total of 8.
All right. So you step up and you put his and you just, and I'm saying you're grinning in this person's face as your gun comes right up to his knee and you pull that trigger, and just this howl of pain escapes him as this spray of blood comes up, and he falls down, and his knee is like 3/4 of it is gone as he falls down to the ground.
Absolutely. Like there's a smile grin, right? Like this uncanny speed that he has, right? He hits this guy in the knee, right? Smiles up at him, jumps back. The one. Let's go. So, just game knowledge, but also, I don't want to game it too much, but because thematics. But like, does this affect his speed at all?
Who? That person?
Yeah.
That nomad?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is now prone.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna jump back a little bit, right? So he can't. Maybe the best he could do would whip this thing at me, and then I'm gonna shoot his buddy that I've already wounded.
Okay. Now, because you went back by 4 meters, that changes the range band now from 7 to 12 meters.
Yes.
So your difficulty has now gone up to 15.
Sounds good. All right. I got a 10.
Roll again. Roll
All
that
right.
D10 again.
10 plus 7, 17 plus 12, I believe. Yep, 12. So 29.
All right. Roll them dice.
Uh, 5, 6, 5, 16.
16. As you step back, how does this red chrome guy die?
Sure. So, when he takes a step back, right, he makes sure that this nomad guy, right, gets a real good look at him, right? When he runs back, he kind of pushes off the leg of this guy, scooting back right here, focuses his attention over on red chrome, right? Mm-hmm. When he does so, right, he takes kind of this like almost cowboy-esque stance, right? Where as he goes back, he flares out his jacket, right? And almost like in a duel-esque sense, right? Hip fires at this man, right? Hitting him near the same center mass of the shot that was before. All right, kind of creating two similar punctures right next to each other as this guy fucking drops to his knees, falls forward, like the scene out of a movie.
Out of a movie, he is down. The only thing that's left is this nomad who's sitting there trying to hold his leg together that is only being held together with sinew and meat as he's just bleeding out. And he's like, "Oh man, fuck you.
Axel would kind of walk forward, right? If this, he I don't know if readying is an action or anything like that. But if he were to go like lunge at him or throw anything, he'd be ready to dodge or deflect if possible. But he would start slowly walking up to this guy. He'd be like, "Hey, nothing that a little biotech can't solve."
And you just keep walking on like, he's nothing.
Yep. He would walk by him, right? At first he would like go to question him, right? But or like think about questioning him, right? But as he's like, "Hey, fuck you, man," blah 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 blah. He'd be like, "All right, that's the destiny you chose, right?" And he would continue on to his mark, let this guy either bleed out or fix himself. You know, it's the life of a solo.
Yep. All right. Let me go ahead. Move these. Right.
As he's moving by, like the red chrome guy, just taking a look at like his gun, his general stuff. Does he have anything that like might be of value?
When you pick up his gun, your hand feels dirty. The piece that you just picked up it's a Federated Arms. It's just a Federated Arms cheap pistol that you could buy at any gun automat. You know, where you're just like, it's like, I'm not even gonna, you know. Would Axel even worry about like cheap ass guns?
No. I feel like maybe at the beginning of his career when he was scrounging for stuff, maybe, right? But he's made a point in his career where he's confident, right? So at this point, it's mostly like this look of like almost disgust or like disappointment, even, right? Like, why would you even come here, right? With this, what he assumes is a valuable target if Vixen wants this, right? Almost like disappointment, right? As he kind of chucks it off to the side of the road, as he continues on.
Can you do me a favor? Please make sure that you, now you took 3 shots.
Yes.
Can
Ammo.
you please mark off 3 shots?
Yes. Offhand, do you remember how much the shots that started with? I apologize.
Should be 4.
Okay. To be 4?
Yeah. If
Okay.
you're using your, you were using the
Lexington.
Yeah, you were using the Lexington.
Yes.
The Lexington.
That was the only one I didn't get the shots for. I apologize.
Oh, yeah, that has 21.
Okay, 21 shots.
Yeah, it has 21 shots in a magazine. You can go ahead and just mark off 4. I'm sorry, 3.
3. All right.
No, 1, 2. No, 4 shots. The 3 you put into the red chrome, and the 1 you put into the knee. Yep, 4 shots.
Now,
Okay.
The other question, right? I know this gun doesn't really fit my vibe. Is the ammo the same?
Yes.
Then I would jack the ammo. That's about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, you whipped out the you pulled out the magazine, and you get there are 10 rounds of heavy ammo.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Alrighty. Now I chucked the gun and the magazine to the side, right? Right. Kind of look down at this man almost in pity, right? Look back at his buddies, see if he's either given up or if he's continuing on, and then continue forward.
All right. Well, we are now out of structured time, so we are now back in free form. So you can move your character however far you want to.
All right. Yeah. So he would kind of go here, right? Check past the guy, chuck the stuff over here, and then you walk up to the old car.
Ye old car, and there you see that white Lexus with the license plate of NCT 1645.
Awesome. He would, I mean, the first thing, he would check the handle, see if it's unlocked.
It is locked.
Awesome. I mean, he's probably not super experienced with picking locks, but he's going to give it a shot. All right, see if he can't.
So, you trying to pick a lock? Of course.
If there's special tools or anything that you have to have or anything, I'm not sure, or if there'd be anything to make it easier. He would definitely turn back to the other guy, right? See if they came prepared with anything. Ask old bleeding out buddy, right? Hey man, you got any lockpicks or anything? As he's kind of searching the other dude.
That guy, you're pretty much sure that that guy was gonna whack the window with that big old pipe.
Oh man. All right. Well, I'm gonna try and not damage this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if there's like a larceny skill or anything like that.
Well, that would actually be
pick lock.
Yep, you can use your pick lock skill, or I would let you use your either a basic tech or let's go with pick locks.
Yeah, I'll go with pick lock for flavor wise, right? He would probably. I'm not sure if the cars have antennas, like a normal car. But he would break off one if there's one nearby, right? Kind of fashion it into a makeshift pick, right? Take whatever he could, rock or anything heavy, and bash the end till it's kind of thin, right? And trying to jimmy this in. He's not really experienced with it. He's only got 5 in it. So I assume
with that, I will give you a +2.
Okay, awesome.
And I need you to beat a difficulty of 15, and don't forget your luck skill.
Oh shoot, yeah. Can I pump 5 luck into this?
You sure can.
Sweet. Alright. 5 luck +2, 7, 13. Total of 21.
So not only do you get in there while you're working, so you're working it and you jimmy the lock, but what happens is when you were in there, you felt something go. You felt something that was just kind of the pick, your little fashionable pick was like kind of locked on something, and you just yank it up, and you watch as the whole security system of the car fades, flickers, and dies.
Sweet.
With that much of a with succeeding by that much, I'll give you something.
It's being lucky is better than being smart, So.
Yep. All right. So you are in this car, and you know that you needed to grab this car. The only thing that you don't know is where it needs to go.
Yep. I'm gonna give Vixen a call back, right? Take a moment while I'm trying to fire this thing up in any way that I can. Right.
And you get, well, I'm assuming I'm going to be a happy motorist.
You might be if you give me the location.
Yeah, bring it to the last round.
All right. Hey, Vix, what was in here that you needed? You want me to make sure it's here?
Just bring me the car.
Yeah. You know what? Anything for you. I'll be there in about 10-15.
Yeah, you know where to find me.
All right. Click.
All right.
All right. Axel, if he's able to fire up this car, definitely will.
Yeah.
And he will drive it down there.
All right.
I assume that he knows the location. If not, he'll pull it up on his
You know the location of the last round. That is, so the last round is, I'm just going to move this here so we're not packing you up. me just go ahead and pack this up really quick while I talk. All right. So, the last round. That is it is a low. There are what's called edge runner bars. And these edge runner bars are, it's where edge runners hang out. It's where they meet their fixers. It's where, things happen. Well, on the outskirts of Watson is the last round, right? You've been there so many times. Shadow has brought you there.
All right, awesome. Is this like, I assume this is one I frequent then?
Yes, this is your place. This is like the kind of home. When you go there, this is your home, right? This is your people. So I will let you move your character in, and then I will describe this place.
Awesome. Yeah, so Axel definitely, he parks the car up front, right? If this is his place, right?
Yeah.
Pulls right up to near the entrance, gets out of the car, cleans himself up, right? Make sure his coat's spiffy. Runs his fingers through his hair as he's kind of walking up to the entry of this bar. Feeling, of course, right, way more confident after a successful mission.
Okay. Now, let's go ahead and move your guy.
Sorry,
Boom.
I could not find him. I was looking
All right.
so hard.
I had him. All right. So as you walk in, right? This is just, if there was a dive bar that felt like home, this place is it. On the stage is there are two women, all right, and they're much older. Like, one of the things that doesn't happen to a lot of people in Night City is they don't see much past the age of 30.
Yeah.
Well, both of these women, you can tell that they have the look of people that have, they've lived. There's a woman who has a guitar, and she's singing this really slow rendition of Samurai's Chippin' In, and her voice is real smoky, like, maybe she smoked 1 to 100 too many cigarettes. And the woman next to her is playing keyboards along with her, keeping time. And you can tell that, she looks to be maybe about 4, maybe 5 years older than her, in both, how when people get older, they just kind of pack on a little extra weight. She's a little thicker, and she's just moving to the music. But what you find very interesting is that even though it's behind her glasses, her left eye, from the left eye all the way back to her ears, is 3 massive scars, like something raked their way down. And her left hand is cybernetic, and And then as you walk in, there are 3 younger women that are there, and they all have like different forms of firebrand clothes on, because that's the band who's playing. Over here behind the bar is an old man with this really old, this is almost his arm is like a relic of the early Fourth Corporate War, and he's watching over this entire bar. His head just moves slowly from left to right as he's just watching, what's going on in this bar. He has a little smile on his face. You can tell that he likes the music. But what's interesting is he's wiping a glass, and you can hear the grating metal from this old cybernetic arm as he's wiping a glass with a dirty rag. Coming from the bathroom is your friend Shadow. All right, she's a younger woman. Her hair is just where your hair is in a mohawk. Hers is natural, and it is in vibrant colors. She has one metal cybernetic arm. She's wearing for a better lack of term, she's wearing these really loud booty shorts, and she has a very large pistol at her side, and she also has these glasses, which are her signature. That is her affection. She will stop dead mission to make sure that that she's picked the right color of hue for the mission and her and her emotions at that time. And then there you see over by the pool table, Vixen is just kind of leaning back on the pool table, like you see people that own a space. And standing guard is this nomad. Her name is Leathers, and she's just kind of sitting there, and she's got this wicked shotgun that she's just kind of sitting there eyeing the place. And then behind her is a tech, and she's just kind of sitting there working on something. Vixen comes over to you and says, "Hey, where's the car at?"
He kind of smiles, right? If there are people nearby, right, he definitely smile at them, right? After Vixen kind of comes up and asks, right, he would take the antenna, right, and kind of toss it over to her, right? He'd say, "Car's outside. There's the keys."
She smiles and she's like, "Oh, Axel, this is coming off. This is coming off the bottom end."
Hey! You said any damages. Why don't you go inspect for yourself? I promise, pristine condition. Come on,
and she walks
me.
out, and so she walks out, and she walks out to the car. She opens the back door, and she reaches up underneath the passenger seat, pulls out this laptop, and takes it back, and she hands it to her tech, right? And she's like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
I did not name this tech, so
no worries.
Once again, I happen to have, I love my random table. And she's like, "Hey, Camille, do your thing." And so Camille opens this up, working on it. She's like, okay. And she's like, are you ready for payment?
Yeah, I've been ready.
All right. Now you see even though Vixen is wearing these dark sunglasses, you can see that her eyes start to glow red as she's activated her link, and you see, incoming credit transfer from Vixen. Boom, 799 credits.
He chuckles, right? Right. Vix, if you're hard up, you just have to say so.
She's like, fuck you. You did good work.
Hey.
You did good work. Stick around, because I think I got something for you.
Of course. Why don't you introduce me to your nice new tech over there? I heard her name was Camille.
Yeah,
right.
Her name's Camille. She's a little busy right now. All right. Go get yourself a drink. You'll love the drink menu.
Sure. He'll wander on over there, right? Wander onto the drink, over to the bar, right? He'd take. I assume that the old man is the bartender.
Yes,
right?
The old man is the bartender.
He would definitely walk up. Is there a menu posted, or is there nothing kind of here?
So basically, what the menu is, it's like literally, it was like written on a napkin with prices and put underneath this epoxy.
All right, he kind of picked it up, right? He kind of look over the old man. Is this obviously this is his stomping grounds? Has he seen this man before?
Oh yeah, you
okay.
know this man. You know him as Hands. This is not your first time here. This is your hangout, and and that's kind of that's kind of Vixen's way of saying, I don't, go over there. I'm working. I'm working something. Go get a drink. I'm not trying. I have nothing for you yet. But when I do, you'll know. And I can't have you. And she's your fixer, right?
Yeah.
She's the person who gets you your jobs. And even though she's a low-level fixer, she's working her way up. Let's take a quick step back, right? Let's take a quick step back as to, that time that Shadow brought you here for the first time and gave you the lowdown, where she said, like, hey, this is Hands, and Hands, he's an old solo, right? He did this awesome run where, where he took on Militech, and it's like, and where even Hands would say, yep, that was my last run, man. I lost my whole crew, but I made it out, and I'm like, I had enough. I bought this bar. It's just for, this is my home. This is, this is me giving back to the people that made me. Now, we all start somewhere. We all have to have a home.
Yeah, no, and like, I think that that from that moment and still to this day, right, Hands is probably an inspiration to Axel, right? Someone to look up to, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody who lived the life, made it, and is happy with where he's at, right?
Yeah. And he's happy where he's at. He's got this bar where, because everybody's trying. Okay, so every edge runner in Night City, their dream is to get a drink named after them at the afterlife. The afterlife is this edge runner bar where only the top of the top of the top edge runners can even get into. You have to have a reputation of 7 or more just to get in the door. You have to have a reputation of 10, to be someone there. That's where people like, you've heard stories of this one edge runner. Her name was V, and how she worked her way up and then one day just kind of disappeared. You heard about this job that her and her partner Jackie Wells, that they blew trying to break into Compeki Plaza. But man, there's even down here in this lowly bar, you still will hear sometimes people come in and talk about, yeah, don't pull a Jackie Wells, That's the kind of living legend that every edge runner wants to be. That's when you know you've made your mark on Night City. But then there's another way. You get up enough you get up enough eddies, and you build the place that's that first stepping stone into a much larger world. And that's what Hans did.
And that's something that Axel definitely aspires to, right? He, like, having his name in this drink named after him, right? In the afterlife, it would be something. It seems right now, perhaps out of grasp, but definitely something that he knows he can accomplish, that he wants to do.
Yeah, because that's every edge runner's dream. That's you've heard Shadow talk about it, and she's like, you know what? Even though I love this place, one of these days, Choom, you and me, Choom, we're gonna be sipping drinks at the afterlife.
And he would revel at the thought, right? These conversations between her and him. Right, Shadow is not only like a person that he looks up to as well, but in these times of these trying times where he has had just bad relationship after bad relationship, whether it be enemy or a failed love, right? She is one constant that stuck around, right?
Yeah.
One guiding light in this hellhole of a world. So these moments fill him with joy and anticipation, right? He considers her like a true friend, Those moments he looks back to with fondness, right? And every time he comes to this place, right, there's a small reminders of who he is, who he was, and who he will be.
And with that, that is the life of an edge runner. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed. The next run you go on could be your last. But it's having those dreams, those goals, that when I make it, it's everything is going to be worth it. Sleeping in this cube, sleeping in this cube, having to deal with these punks on the street, having to push, one day, you know what, these little wannabe edge runners, they're gonna look at me and they're gonna be like, whoa, they're not gonna need their mothers. They're gonna know who I am. They're gonna know what that means.
Absolutely.
And so, As Axel takes a look down at the drink menu, he notices something very, very interesting about the drink menu. Everything is called the last blank. So there's the last shot, the last beer, the last Mai Tai, the last Long Island iced tea, the last, and would you have asked Hans as to why he may have said, why he may have had that naming convention for his drinks?
At first, right, he might have thought it was just a theme, right? At first, glance, right? This is the bar's name is the last stand, right? Or
last round.
All right. So he thought it might maybe just a naming convention, right? But when you bring this up, right, this convention, right, I imagine that he kind of takes a moment, right, and as he's looking at this thing, he would ask him, he'd be like, Hans, you glorious old bastard, man, I gotta ask, what's with the naming convention? Right? Is it the bar, or is there something to this?
Because you know what, man? While you're in my bar, I want to be the one to know that I gave you your last, your last drink.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
And it's with that, you hear a very loud exclamation of, "Oh no, you've got to be fucking kidding me." And as you can see, Vixen and Camille are looking at this laptop with just like this look of like maybe disgust, almost horror, or but just like maybe just a whole little bit of what? And there is where we're going to end our story for now.
Awesome.